Hi, and welcome to Giving Back with Michele and Steve. Today's guests, we have Joe Bowers and Bowers Plumbing and Dr. Michele Marconi from Chiropractor and Wellness. So, hey, welcome, guys, for being on today.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
Oh, great. So, Joe, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about you and what got you into plumbing.
I got into plumbing because my dad, my grandpa, and great-grandpa all in the plumbing industry. My dad is still a plumber. Getting ready to retire. So I've been plumbing since I was a little kid. Since about 8 years old, started playing with glue in the crawl space. Getting to play with the torch. Never really actually plumbing. Usually causing more of a mess than actually doing any work.
I can visualize that actually.
Yeah, my brother and I used to see what kind of things we could draw in each other's pants while we're sleeping. So pretty messed up stuff. Comes out of some ABS glue.
So you didn't have a choice. You just got kind of brought up in the business.
Yeah, I've done other jobs, but I've never liked anything really. I've always just fallen back into the plumbing stuff. I understand it really well, and so it just kind of came natural.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so
great.
That's what I just do. So now we do, and now we're plumbing and remodels. So now we do full home remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, good to know that because I thought you were just doing plumbing. But hey, I've got 2 bathrooms that need some work. One is like a closet. I swear it's like a closet. And the other one is like way too big and has those jetted tubs that nobody uses anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
mine.
really? Yeah, that's right. We can have Joe come out and take a look. I don't know if he comes all the way out to Paulsbo, but anyway, great.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any good vegan restaurants over there?
Not yet. Not yet, but we are going to talk about the vegan ginger beast. So that would be a little bit later, and that's you, Joe, right?
Yeah.
Is that what they call you?
That's what they call them.
That's what they call me. Yeah. People. I've had a couple people actually recognize me too. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone came up to my one of the guys I work out with works for me, and he's a bodybuilder, and like, is that? I think I saw your boss, that vegan ginger beast guy. So it's kind of funny,
That's awesome.
People are starting to see it, notice it, I guess. So it's kind of cool.
Making changes.
And part of the reason why Michele is here is because
Yeah, why am I here?
you are here because
your hair.
the vegan.
For your hair.
Not only you have a great business with your chiropractic business,
Yeah.
but you're a lifelong vegan.
Yes.
That's fascinating.
Yes,
That
it is.
You actually grew up eating it. Most people that I know who are vegan became vegan, but
Yeah.
So your parents were both vegans, or how
So my father is vegan. My mother's vegetarian. So I did between vegan and vegetarian my whole life. But I've never had any land animals. Like I never had pork and beef and chicken and all that stuff. So when people say like, oh, it's so good, I'm like, I don't think so. Like I just look at it as an animal. Like I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
But I have had dairy and I've had eggs and I've had seafood. So those are things I have had. But my kids are vegan. They've been raised that way. They're 11 and 8. And I've been vegan for most of my life. But yeah, it's just something I've always lived and love it. And I went and did extra schooling after becoming a chiropractor. And so I'm also a nutritionist and I do a lot of blood work in my office. And so I'm more than just a chiropractor. I'm definitely more holistic. And I was trained as primary care physician, but in the state of Washington, unfortunately, I'm not considered a primary care, but I
Okay.
can do pretty much everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of
What?
taught everything.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. I mean, not that I want to do everything, I really don't, but it's important to kind of know a little bit of everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, and we went to school, we learned how to do minor surgery. But please don't come to me.
No.
No.
Oh, I cut my finger off.
Like,
So back on, yeah.
I always tell people, please don't come to me. But I had a patient one time. She was an elderly woman, and she came to me because she was having chest pain. And I was like, oh, dear Lord, why did you come to me? And she's like, well, I knew that you would evaluate me. Otherwise, I'd be sitting in the hospital for hours and hours. Well, I ended up having to call an ambulance because she was having a heart attack.
No.
But to her, she was like, but I know you're going to evaluate me. You're going to get me in quickly and figure that out. Is it a rib or is it actually my heart?
Right.
It's your heart.
Yeah. And so this is a really good look for my clinic to have an ambulance come to a chiropractic clinic,
Like, what's
But-
going on in there?
Things got rowdy.
Things got a little bit rowdy here. But yeah, so I do know a lot. I'm not an expert in everything, but the things that I do feel strongly about is I really like working with people with thyroid issues, digestive issues, cardiovascular issues, along with me being a chiropractor. I adjust the joints too.
Wow, those
So
are
those are kind of my specialties. I'm not a specialty in hormones, although I have been having more patients working with hormones. It's a very complex thing, hormones. I mean,
Sure it
it's
is.
not as easy as people think it is. So yeah, I'm diving into more. But yeah, I kind of do a little bit of everything, and I love what I do.
Yeah,
Nice.
good. So you and Joe came together because how did that happen? Because all of a sudden, Joe, you're now Mr. Vegan. Good for you. And
Yeah, it's been just over a month.
How's it
A
going?
month and a week. It's good. I feel really good. I feel a lot healthier. A lot less bloated. My clothes are a lot looser. You know, they fit better, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I feel good. I feel healthy.
Yeah. So what prompted you? Because most people, when they start something drastic like a food change or maybe a different lifestyle, there's like something that's like prodded them to actually do it to make that change. What
So,
was it for you?
I
It's a
kind of
great
got.
question. It's a big loaded question. But
It
yeah,
is.
Joe.
There's so much.
There's so much. But yeah, start with
There's so much.
Yeah.
So the whole thing started a couple years ago, getting back into shape and getting healthy. And then I watched this documentary called The Game Changer, and it's all about anything until this, anything about going vegan or most health things were not related to anything sports. And so this one is all sports related, and people that I can directly relate to because I still play softball, which is I play competitive softball, or try to at least. I work out, try to do strongman type stuff. I try to lift as heavy as possibly can, and so this documentary, The Game Changer, was geared towards people that have my interests at heart, like that want to be still athletes and still want to perform and do great in their sport, but want to be healthy and be vegan, and be healthy. And so going vegan was part of it. And so I watched that a few times, and then I reached out to Michele. I don't know, December
of 2019, he reached out to me and said, because we're in a networking group, as we all know.
Right,
Wonderful
right.
Group, Ignite You. And he reached out and said, hey, so my wife and I are interested in going vegan, can you help? And I got to be honest, in my head, I was like, really? Really? So I did reach back out immediately, and I said, hey, this is what I do. I talked about, I do nutrition. I also have cooking classes, and I told him the dates for that. And I left it in his court. Well, then 2020 comes around, and it's
the Corona-geddon.
well, it's everything that's happened. We've canceled all of our cooking classes, and we had to take time off of work. So that all went to south, and I never heard from him again. So I thought, no big deal. And the big thing about me is I don't approach people and ask them to go vegan.
You don't
Sure.
push. You're not
I
pushy.
don't push. That's
Until
what-
you get in the door, and then off you push.
Well, once you get into the door and you're paying me for my services and you want my expertise and my help, I will be your biggest advocate, your biggest cheerleader. I will help you. And I'm not gonna be that person's like, oh, it's okay. No, I'm gonna be hounding you on it because that's what you're paying me for.
And straightforward too.
And I'm very straightforward. So, but I wasn't gonna keep on
I love
reaching out
that.
to him because that is.
It's
you
annoying.
have-
That's annoying.
It's so annoying, and you have to want it. If you don't want it, I can't be the one to go to his house and feed him food. I'm not his mom. I can't. I know. We have not tried that yet. So
That might help in my case, but okay.
so then there was a post on Facebook 2 months ago or so, and go ahead and tell the story now.
Well, I came in. Well, I needed to get adjusted, so I had some elbow pain and back pain and stuff. So I came to get adjusted, and she gave me her little spiel about being vegan. I was like, "Yeah, I want to do it. Let's go. Let's go right now. Let's do it today." And obviously, we waited like a week. I think I don't remember what the whole plan, but we waited a week.
It wasn't much, but I always do my spiel with
Yeah.
every patient that I have. I'm like, well, it's really important to have an anti-inflammatory diet, and veganism is a really good one. And I was expecting just to kind of like almost waste my breath a little bit. I'm like, but I do it for everybody. And I was shocked when he goes, yeah, let's do it.
Let's go right now.
I'm like, what? What do you mean? And then he reached out to me soon after, and he's like, let's really do this. Like, I wanted to really do this. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And he showed up a couple days later, and we took 2 hours, and we talked about what does that mean? And he's like, I want to help people. I want to make changes for other people. I wish someone would have told me this when I was a kid. And that was one of his biggest whys, was because he wanted to help the younger generation.
Sure.
Because we're so bombarded as a child to eat all this crappy food and sugar and stuff, and then you're growing up and you're left with what you have. And wouldn't it have been nice if you felt better from the beginning?
Sure.
So we decided to document the whole thing, and we literally put this together in a couple days. And I think I think we're doing a good job, but it probably would have been better if we had like an outline and we were like, knew what we're doing, but we just ran with it. And so now we are a little over a month into it, and we're running with it, and we've already have almost 600 followers on our Facebook.
Yep.
And,
Wow.
we just hired a videographer to help out the process. We're trying to get sponsors. it's been an amazing process. But
Yeah.
this is Joe's process, and I just feel so honored that I get to be part of it, and I get to yell at him and tell him what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
This is like the biggest loser on vegan styles.
Yeah,
So-
and it's about showing a lifestyle change and like showing kids. I really want to show kids and adults, everybody, that you can get healthy and the food's still amazing. So the food, I'm not sacrificing any kind of food like. And there is a whole thing about, you're just gonna eat salad all day. Hell no, it's good food, and there's all kinds of substitutes for meat. You know, like we're talking about jackfruit earlier, amazing. Jackfruit, like so with pulled pork, you can make pulled pork with it, all that kind of stuff. They have Impossible meat for burgers and tacos and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really good food. It's just you don't feel bloated when you're done. I mean, I don't know, you feel amazing. So I went and played a softball tournament. I think it was 3 weeks ago, and it was a Saturday. We played 6 games total. I played 1 game, a game break, and 5 games in a row. And it was like 115 degrees on the field.
wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna be dead Sunday. I'm not gonna walk. That's what happened last Sunday. The last time I played, I couldn't walk the next Sunday. I was so sore and so done. I got up Sunday morning, ready to go. Went to the gym. I could walk fine. No, I wasn't sore or nothing. Went to the gym, worked out, and felt great.
So what did you eat in between there? What was your snacks? Because that's
So
a lot of questions.
so while I was
are like,
while I was
what
at
do
the
we
gym,
eat?
so when I wake up in the morning, I do a protein shake after I work out. So I work out fast every morning. I do a protein shake. That's 100% vegan. Everything I eat is 100% vegan. So I just said that one time.
Yeah.
But I do a protein shake. It's about 900 calories, 80 grams of protein. I don't remember all the rest of the fat and all of the carbs in it. And then I do for snacks. Like I have in my truck right now, I have carrots and hummus. There's celery,
Peanut butter.
peanut butter,
Love peanut butter.
cucumber. I think that's all the stuff I have in my truck right now. And cashews. There's stuff like that.
So you haven't felt deprived, and you haven't really been hungry.
I can eat fig Newtons.
Yes, you can eat fig Newtons.
Wow.
Let's just clarify some things. So we've been in it for now a month.
Yeah.
And the only stipulation he had, well, 2, I guess. 1, 100% vegan. And 2, try and get most of your diet, meaning 50% or more fresh fruits and veggies every day.
Yeah.
And that is the only goal that he's had for this past month. We just wanted to see what that would be, because I know when you're changing something, it can be daunting and scary, and his wife is the one that does all the cooking. And so she was texting and calling constantly, which was totally fine. Pictures like, is this good? Is this good? Which one should I do? Which one? And all of this, because it was overwhelming. When you go to grocery shopping, you have staples, right? And you don't even think about it.
Right.
It's a whole
You just
different
throw it all in.
process. Like there's certain sections in the grocery store that's this one little section is your vegan section of meat, or the whatever the substitute stuff. There's little stuff you have to look for, and like try to look at labels. Like shit, it doesn't say vegan on it, so now you got to read the label and see if it actually is. Because there's some stuff too that. Like like they advertise, like I was talking about this. So they advertise stuff like at the Impossible Burger at Burger King, for example. You can get the Impossible Burger King. That's great. That is vegan, but the mayonnaise isn't vegan that they're using. I guarantee that.
Right.
And then you have the fries that are fried. I mean, it's a better meal than a regular burger, I guess, but it's still not a 100% vegan meal.
Because I remember years ago, McDonald's got in trouble for their French fries were fried in beef tallow and not. They were proposed as vegetarian, right? So is that the majority of, like, is Burger King like with beef or?
I don't know the oil they use, but they aren't using separate grills. So we've actually did a little video on this, and we'll be putting it on our Facebook page eventually. But we talked about the different intensities of a vegan, and you have to figure out where you are in that. Some people won't drink beer because some beer is filtered through fish guts, I believe. Yeah, even wine is too. Like it's and they're like, what?
The look on your face.
Right now, everybody is rethinking.
So, but I mean, and there's certain things like some lipsticks, have animal byproducts there too. So you have to figure out what level you want to be in as a vegan, and there is no wrong answer to that. That's a personal choice. We're focusing more on the health benefits of it,
Right.
And not trying. And I'm so sorry, any vegans out there, not to be mean, but not to be the stereotypical crazy vegans.
Yeah.
I'm not going nuts with it, like making sure my soap is all clean. It's not.
The thing is,
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I have become more like that, and that's a personal thing. Like everything I buy, like makeup is all vegan. Like I try to, but I learn things all the time. Like, oh my gosh, well, I didn't realize that wasn't vegan. Like, there's just a lot of things, but I try to buy my
It's
shoes.
a process.
It's a process, and you can get overwhelmed with it, and you can go the crazy side, and you can be like, is this done on a different grill? Is it the same grill? And I was that person a lot of the time. I mean, you just got to pick and choose what you want to do. So if you're going to go to a place like Burger King, I just think then you need to be okay with the fact that it's not going to be on a separate grill.
Right.
And you have to realize that. So I personally choose not to go to Burger King just because of that reason. I've never had meat. But there's different levels of it. I mean, you don't want someone to spit your food, so be careful what you say. But like, I've been vegan my whole life. I've gone to steak places and I say, I'm so sorry. Like, I know I'm trying not to be a pain in the tush, but I'm vegan and I'm also gluten-free, which makes another level of pain in the ass. Sorry if I'm swearing.
You said tush.
I said tush and then I went and said the other bad word. But I gotta say, it's been quite amazing because people actually like to be creative. Like, I've gone to steak places and they're like, no problem. And they'll make me this incredible dish with like tofu in it. And because they've had a chance to kind of be experimental. And I'm always kind. That's the most important part. It's just being kind. If you come off as being a complete ass, they're going to be like, no problem, and then spit your food probably. But like, I'm just nice and I apologize. I'm like, it's no big deal. And more people they're having more vegan options.
People get more welcoming to it. You know,
Yes.
I see more stuff like I know the owners of Wingman Wingman beer company down here, and they have there's a new place called Little Radio, and they have an Impossible Burger or a plant-based burger they just posted about this morning actually.
See, the more we
So,
start talking
it's
about it,
just-
the more we're going to infiltrate everybody. Oh,
Yeah, 'cause that's one thing that's hard. Is I go out all the time, and so eating out is really hard. Or I've had a difficult time with it trying to figure out what I can eat.
Sure.
You know, it's like, okay, I can get the only thing I get in your menu is fried vegetables, sweet. You know, it's like
So that's the one thing that he's wanted from me. He's like, where do I go? And I don't go out to dinner very often or go out to restaurants because, anytime you go to a restaurant, even a vegan restaurant, they're going to increase their fat content, increase their sugar content, and sodium. It's just a thing they do. It helps improve the flavor, and they want you to keep coming back. That's just a thing. So I'm trying to push Joe away from that as much as possible, but I have tried to give him some places that have options. But obviously going to dinner, regardless if you're meat-based or plant-based, it's not healthy for you. All the time. He's going to cry over there.
What I wanted to ask you is that movie that you had talked about. What was it called again?
the Game Changer.
The Game
Game
Changer. So
Changers.
professional
Game
athletes.
Changers.
Because our, at least my view of people who, professional athletes, especially guys who are football players or whatnot, or big steak meat eaters. Like, you eat meat to get a lot of protein to build up. What are professional athletes? Is there a percentage that are vegan, or
I don't know if there's
we-
a percentage that anybody says anything like that. I guess I've never looked at a percentage of it, but one of them was a football team. Their whole offensive defensive line went vegan.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins? No.
Miami
Yeah?
Dolphins?
Yeah, Miami Dolphins.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
it
No.
I've watched
Look
it
it
too.
up. Look it up.
We'll look it up. We're not going to.
I don't know if it was Dolphins. There was a couple players from the Dolphins,
but
I
a
think.
pro football
yeah,
team,
pro
right?
Football team.
So
Yes.
Nate
Vegan.
Nate
wow.
Diaz is vegan. He's a UFC fighter, and he beat Conor McGregor in a fight.
Yeah,
and Conor
yeah.
McGregor was like eating these huge steaks beforehand.
Yeah.
And he's talking about all this stuff and being foul about how he was talking to Nate Diaz about being vegan and all this stuff. And then Nate Diaz whipped his ass.
Yep.
So
'Cause- right.
and then kind of threw in his face. I said a bad word. It's Titans. See, I knew it wasn't Dolphin.
So I was wrong. This never
Oh,
happened.
no.
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah,
Okay.
But maybe the Dolphins will be next.
So they had one of the guys on the Titans. His wife was cooking him vegan meals, and they saw him doing better, and they started talking to other teammates, and the whole offensive or defensive line, whatever one, the whole team went vegan, and they went to into the playoffs. They didn't go to the Super Bowl or anything, but they did way better than the year before, and their performance was way better. And then there's an Olympic athlete. She won a medal at 39 years old. She's the oldest to win a medal in her sport, and she's vegan, and she was getting ready to retire. Went vegan and was like, I can do one more, and then they won a medal that year.
Wow. That's fabulous.
There's a UFC fighter, and I can't the guy basically starts the whole documentary that is talking the whole time. I can't remember his name, but he shows he got hurt. He blew out both his knees, and so the whole thing started for him is he wanted to see how he can get healthier faster and get back into doing what he does faster.
Yeah.
And he just kills a bunch of stuff, a bunch of records. He starts breaking a bunch of records in his sport. He does the rope thing. There's the battle ropes and the limits. If you get 20 minutes, you get right your name on the wall. He did it for an hour and then just got bored and stopped.
When you eat a high protein animal diet, that goes into your blood and it makes it sluggish.
Yeah.
So that's what creates extra cholesterol and creates plaque.
Yeah.
There is no cholesterol in a vegan diet.
Yeah, no.
Zero. Now we make our own cholesterol in our liver and stuff, but there is zero cholesterol if you have a plant-based diet.
And they show that on
They
that
show
movie.
They show what your video. They show in the video or the documentary your blood and what happens to it. So if you're eating all of this heavy animal protein and then you go do an activity, your oxygen level in your blood is lower and you can't perform as well. So if you're eating oxygenated foods, like plant-based foods, like fruits and vegetables, your blood has more oxygen to it and you can perform better. Now, I'm going to go even further to that step. Blood flow needs oxygen. Blood flow goes to the penis, and if there's a lack of blood flow to the penis, it can cause erectile function and dysfunction in there. And so if you actually
Don't look at me when you're talking about that.
it's probably getting better, isn't it, buddy? So
it is actually, just so you know.
But like I like to talk about things like that because it really hones in, especially with men, because so many men get that idea, and you got the idea before of like have to eat that steak meal to be a man.
Right.
And if it's like if you eat that salad, you're more of a man. You're actually going to perform better in your activities, in all activities. So
well, they actually show in that same this
do.
documentary. If you haven't watched the documentary, please watch it because
You gotta watch this
they
documentary.
measure like the size of the man's erection eating
And
meat
how
and then
many
not,
times.
and how many times and how firm it is. It's like, some people want to talk about, but they measure all this stuff, and it's like the 300% gain
Yeah.
from going vegan like
Wow,
overnight.
so
And I like to talk about that kind of stuff because it's that wow factor. Like, whoa, I can't believe you talked about that. But it's like that's an important aspect.
Am
How many men
my
are
sex
taking
life better?
Viagra?
Am my sex life better after doing it? Just for a month.
See? There you go.
So,
There you go.
I mean,
After
it
1
was
month,
good
to go
before,
for it.
There you go.
But it increases
Of
your
course,
oxygen,
right.
okay? And also increasing your oxygen also goes to your brain, and then you have more clarity and less fogginess. So there's so many different avenues you can think about it, and there's so many reasons to go vegan. I mean, there's reasons to go vegan because of animal rights. I mean, I explain to my children. It helps them grasp the concept better. There's the ergonomical reasons, like the carbon footprint we have going on right now. Like when you have all that land and you're destroying it with all the cattle and stuff, like you've now destroyed it. You can't build anything else on there. So there's that reason. But then the main reason for me is the health reason. Like we see what blood work does. We see how we feel. We see that you're saying I have less bloat. I feel better. Like that to me that's monumentary. But so I brought up the whole oxygen in the penis because I think that will catch some people's attention.
It'll definitely
Especially the
catch
guys.
people's
Especially the
attention.
guys.
Yeah,
You talk about a guy and they're any
they can stop taking Cialis finally,
I've had people. I've told them. I said, it's statins, which is just lowering your blood pressure or lowering your cholesterol. That decreases function to your penis. I've told them that,
Really?
and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." What if you just change your diet? Would you rather do that or take something that could potentially cause erectile dysfunction? I mean, you have to talk to people this way sometimes because otherwise, all people think is meat. It's what is good for you, and that makes you strong, and that's a bunch.
That's one thing that's great about going to your office is you're really blunt. So and it's not a bad thing. I'm not meaning any negative at all. Like you're super blunt and it's honest, and it's like, this is exactly what's gonna happen. So do you want it to happen or not? Do you want to fix it or not? And I didn't come to you because I had anything going on wrong. I just want to be healthy and want to change my life. But you were like, look, this is gonna change. This is gonna change. And you're honest. Like my blood work today wasn't as great as it should have been.
Yeah.
But it's still good. Better for only being 5 weeks in because this is a little bit early.
We did it at 4 weeks. We wanted it at
4
6
weeks,
weeks.
yeah.
And we did his blood work. We did everything. And honestly, there was some amazing things that happened. Like his liver enzymes were really high on August 3rd. Like scary high. And they're now down to normal. And that's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
His cholesterol went down. But there's some things that we need to work on. And honestly, I think what it is, it's 36 years. 34, 36?
36.
36 years of doing what he's been doing.
Treat my body like a frat house.
I was just so confident that after
Absolutely.
4 weeks it would make such a substantial change. And it did make a change, it just wasn't as substantial. And again, what we realize now too is he never changed his eating habits. He changed what he was putting into it, but not the quantity of the food. Or like, it's nighttime, so let me have some snacks of some treats or some ice cream. It's vegan, but he wasn't changing that. Because we wanted to just try for 4 weeks to 6 weeks to see what that would just do, is going plant-based. But it wasn't good enough. We need to do a little bit more.
It's still,
but
it's still good, and it still makes a change. So if someone wanted to do it
Obviously.
and they want to just make that's the only change they want to make, is just make sure their eating is vegan, they are going to see a difference.
Yes.
It just might take them a year or 2 years to get to where I want to be in 6 months.
Yeah.
Or-
So we're going to
or-
go a little bit harder on that
Yeah.
one. And again, he's still doing well. It's just
Well,
we gotta
and
make some
part of what I
changes.
want to do too is my first 6 weeks, I didn't want to change anything
Yeah.
because not everybody's gonna want to go to the gym. Not every person wants to go and work out every day. I didn't either. I enjoy it now. I love going, and it changes my whole day.
I love watching you at the gym.
So,
Swearing.
so not everybody wants to go,
Absolutely.
but for the average person that just wants to, that could just change their diet only.
Yeah.
I just want to prove to them, look, just change your diet. You can change. You can change the way your body is functioning just by changing what you're eating, just making sure everything's vegan. And then take it the next step and say, okay, now if you aggressively work out, and I'm going to start doing cardio, which I'd never done cardio.
Because he was working out, but he was lifting weights, which is great for muscle building, but it wasn't getting his heart rate up for a long period of time. So that's what we're going to change. And so, but he's still a badass. I mean, I'm impressed with what he's doing. I think he needs to continue doing it. We're just going to add in the cardio, which he's so excited about.
Yes.
Look at this face
I know.
right
I
here.
even bought a rower.
Excited.
What kind of car? What are you going to be doing?
So I bought a rower for my house, and then I'm going to probably use a stair machine at the gym.
Yeah, rowing.
So I'm
The
going to do a couple
rowing
minutes.
is intense.
Yeah.
So my husband's put me through this thing where I'm doing rowing 5 days a week, and I hate it. We can do it together.
Do you do it all the way on one?
No, I
you're
do it
kind of a
on
wuss.
6. Rude.
Six.
Prove it.
This is Michelle. She
Videotape it.
she cracks your back.
I totally do.
She has to jump up off the wall. She usually runs up the wall and jumps off.
5'2".
Does some like WWE kind of stuff.
When you say six?
There's a setting
resist
from
level
1
six.
to 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
One
And
to
I
10.
obviously do
Okay.
10. 'cause
I'm at
Okay, yeah.
6. And I do this 500 meters, and I go as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And then I get 1 minute break, and I do it 5 more times, so a total of 6 times.
Wow.
And by the 5th time,
You're done.
I want to cry. I don't. But I write my times down because my husband wants to make sure I'm keeping up on it. And I'm doing pretty good. It's definitely made some changes. I hate it, but I love it. Because I also like to lift weights.
Yeah.
I enjoy that more than the cardio. But when I'm done, that was only like 20 some minutes. And so I'm done. And that's all I want you to do too. But continue the weightlifting.
Yeah.
We'll be strong together.
And
So,
also,
hold on. So I have a question. So you did. Sorry about that, babe. So you alluded to my husband helped put me through this rigorous thing. So that kind of, how important is it to have your partner walk the similar journey as you? Because
in my opinion,
for both of you,
100%, you're not going to be successful if your other person does not do it with you. And that is just for an aspect of if I am sitting there eating vegan food, which is really good, but my wife is eating a steak and potato, which I normally eat, I'm going to eat that too. I'm going to cheat every day and eat that because that's what she's eating. And so having support, having someone to tell you that you're doing good, you're doing great, and they're doing the same as you, and you're both seeing results too, because my wife is doing it too. She's not going to the gym, but she lost a ton of bloat. Like before and after pictures, she won't let me post them, but you can see it's amazing. She
does look great.
She looks great. She looked amazing before, and she's beautiful. I love her.
Nicole
But
is beautiful. Yes.
and she's always been there with me to do everything. So we do other diets together, and this is one is what we're sticking to is a lifestyle change and a diet. But she has seen huge results just from what she's doing, and our kids too. So our kids do it. So our whole my son is not 100%, neither is my daughter, but they're trying.
You're getting close.
So my daughter, she we were at their house for dinner a couple weeks ago, and she's never had cucumbers before. And so everybody got a stack of cucumbers to eat with their dinner. So my daughter ate hers, and she's like, "Have some more." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" Sorry about the language.
Bleep.
No, it was good for them to come to my house.
I was like, but she liked it, and so she's eating more like that. She has had, so her thing is mac and cheese, and she hasn't been able to find it. We've had like 4 or 5 different types, and she hasn't found one yet that meets her replacement yet. So she cheats on that, but when she does, it messes her stomach up, and so she notices.
Yeah.
She notices it. And then my son's the chicken nuggets. So pretty much everything he eats was already vegan anyway, except for eats about 40 chicken nuggets a day.
Have you tried the vegan chicken nuggets yet?
He doesn't like them. So he'll eat a couple, but then he'll waste them. And they're so expensive. It's like...
I know.
I'm like, once we can get him away from eating chicken nuggets all the time, then we'll switch it. So the next thing we switch into out of chicken nuggets will be something vegan, and that way we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because he's used to eating this. Yeah. He's eaten the same chicken nuggets since 2.5 or so, and he's 6, and so always, the same bag. We can't even get the dinosaur shaped ones. It has to be the same bag. So my son's on the spectrum. He's autistic and on the spectrum. So there's some things there. So it's texture issues, and any change. I'm hard with change. I hate change too.
But he's seeing his dad do it, so he's already made changes.
Oh yeah, he
gets on the rower
ate a strawberry.
and he starts to...
Yeah, he ate a strawberry the other day. The rower. He sits on the rower and on his tablet on the rower, and he just slides back and forth. He'll slide back and forth on the roller.
He's getting work.
And then he'll grab. Oh yeah, he's 5-6 pounds. But for being 6, he was. I'm going to be these numbers wrong. He was like 80 pounds, now he's like 75, 74, somewhere around there. You know, he's a big boy too.
Yeah, he's big.
so.
Okay.
But he's making changes. And
But his clothes are also fitting smaller. That's the same thing. I noticed it. Like his pants, he went to go outside and play in the sprinkler last night, and he's put his shorts on, and they're like super loose. You know, like I was like, oh my god, you know, it feels good because I remember like I wasn't looking forward to his teenage years because mine were so hard with finding clothes that fit and looking like an idiot or feeling like I look like an idiot because I'm wearing stuff that's way too big because it's only going to fit. And I got a big butt, so like trying to wear, you know, fit the clothes, and nothing was really comfortable, you know. So I really like it broke my heart thinking that what's gonna be like for his future, or like my nephew is the same. My nephew is 14, he's 300 pounds, so he's 289 or something like that. And he's a big boy, you know, and he's big, he's fit, you know. He plays super competitive football. Like he goes to Idaho, Montana to play. Like he's playing out of state right now, and he plays in a state tournament every year. He was on the Washington State team.
Do you think he'll go become vegan?
So we went to dinner. I took him to lunch to Trappers, and he ate everything vegan except for one roll. He wanted one roll that wasn't vegan, so I let him do it. But he's cool. I mean, I think he sees it. So I saw him at Fred Meyer's. He snuck up behind me. He's like, "Oh, what's a good vegan option over here?" Like, me a little smart mouth of mine. I was like, "What is this?" And it's my nephew. So
speaking of vegan options, vegan cheese. I had it one time. I'm sorry, vegan cheese.
Okay,
honestly,
so
it was put on a pizza. Actually,
It's different.
Okay, it's hit or miss. Now I've been doing this my whole life, and the cheeses we had back 30 years ago were disgusting. So I gotta say they are amazing now. So the ones I like, Veal Life is one of my favorite ones. It's brand new, notes. And they have a feta, a Parmesan, and a cheddar. Feta. Amazing. I like some of the Daiya ones, not all of them, but most of them. Honestly, what it is you gotta try them out. They're all different, but the Veal Life is the best. So, and then, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Oh, back to that question about having a partner that's supportive.
Yes.
So this is my final marriage, and my first marriage, my ex-husband, he wasn't vegan, and he was close, but he wasn't, and I didn't think anything of it. We raised our kids vegan, and then when finalized the divorce and I got with JD, I told JD, like, do what you want to do, and he said, well, if you're doing it, I'm doing it, and I didn't realize how important that was.
Support.
When he became vegan, I was like, oh, I could never be with anybody that. They have to be vegan because it's so amazing to have that partner. And you know, he's a personal trainer, so we work out together, and I know he likes that we work out together. Like, I don't think he would appreciate me if I didn't work out. You know, it's important to do things together.
That's one of the best things that Heather and I did for our relationship was we started going to the gym. We haven't been lately because of COVID shutdown and crap. But the best thing for our relationship was when we would go to the gym together at night. Like, so I would work out in the morning with my buddies and do the heavy lifting, that kind of stuff. And at night, we'd take the kids, and they would go do their thing, and then we would get to play. And, like, I would do lightweight, like, high reps, and then we'd work out with her. And, like, we'd flirt. Now I was giving her a lap dance inside LA Fitness one night just on one of the machines. And everybody's laughing. You know, 'cause I have my headphones on, I'm yelling loud because I don't realize how loud I'm talking and saying inappropriate stuff. But it's fun. Like, you get that flirting time, and it's like, that's our time because you don't realize when you're a parent, you don't get any time together. There's never one-on-one time, or it's very rare to get one-on-one time. So that hour and a half we got every single night was the biggest change in our relationship ever because we got to actually like love each other unconditionally and both while getting healthy. You know, like I watch her work out hard. And
Heather's been a huge advocate for him. I mean, she said to me, she goes, if he's doing it, I'm doing it. And she's jumped fully in, and she's like kept saying, I'm so sorry I keep asking you questions. And I'm like, no, I want you to. Like, this is what I want this. I want to.
Well, if she wasn't doing it with me, I wouldn't be able to make it. Like, I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff.
You're working all the time, and she's not working currently. And so this is kind of like her job now. Yeah. Being a vegan person. Yeah. She's been doing so much because he has to wake up, and he's doing all these different things. And so she's sending him food and all that. But yeah, he needs her.
Yeah. Well, you have to have that support. You have to have the person supporting you, otherwise it won't ever work. You know, like she's supported with everything. I'm also, been sober for almost 7 months now. So going on 7 months. So that's insane because I've been drinking my entire life.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to do it without her. I mean, it's taken a lot of time. But she's always supported me when I tried to stop. She would support me when I stopped, and then she wouldn't be negative when I went back to it. Like, she would just try to help me, like, hey, let's calm it down a little bit and that kind of stuff. But she never was really negative about it. I don't know how to say it the right way, but she wasn't super negative. She didn't pick on me and make me feel like a piece of shit for drinking. It was just like, hey, you're getting out of hand, and so I'd slow down. And then she would support me and try to keep me on track.
And she doesn't drink because he doesn't drink.
Yeah. And so the same thing. Yeah, she won't do it. And then she wasn't a big drinker before, but she just won't drink. She said, nope, I'm good. And so we still go out. We go out and do stuff still. We go to the bar, hang out. We just don't drink.
So. And you actually were an inspiration to me. Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been 4 months, and I've always alcohol was a big part of my life, But I saw Joe going for it, and I was like, wow, that's all right. Well, I'll stop for a period of time, and now I don't.
awesome.
Yeah, exactly, and it's mostly for health reasons, not
Right.
for anything that I feel like anything was out of control. It was just like it was just time. So
A lot of people do that. They realize, you don't really need it. So that's great that working for you.
yep, and so I'm not sure whether that means we'll keep following and go the vegan path, but who knows?
You
should.
We should.
You
Okay.
should try- everybody should try it. Everybody should try it for a month.
Everybody
Everybody should try it for a month. That's like the first week was hard. So the first week I didn't feel too great. And I slowly eased into it. So some people are gonna have a big withdrawal problem.
But August 3rd was his first official day, but he took the 4 days prior to that.
Yeah, the
kinda
week
go
before
slow
to start
into it.
eating vegan meals. But the first week after that, day 4, I was at the gym. I smelled terrible. Like the guys working out, like, dude, you stink. Get the hell away from me. You smell bad. I'm spraying the cleaner for the machines on my shirt. I took my shirt off through the bed of my truck. It was disgusting. But I was sweating all the toxins, all the crap out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, I could smell what I ate for dinner the night before when I was sweating. So I could smell like, oh, I know what I had for dinner last night. 'Cause I can smell it on my sweat. Your sensory just.
Yep.
Yes.
Everything is clarity, and it's so
Yeah.
clear. And I just feel like I don't know. I just feel so much better. It's crazy. And I have so much energy, and I'm like a crackhead anyway. I just always run around outside the walls. But
All right, so I might consider it going vegan, except for my daughter and I, we have talked a lot about stuff, eating, and she's very she wants to eat better. Okay, but I've not been a very good role model for her, and so this is where my question is: so is chocolate vegan?
It can be, yes. So you look for dark chocolate, and you just have to.
All right, I'm in.
You have to read the label. So Hershey's is not.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Absolutely
milk,
not.
yeah.
That's fine.
Look for things, make sure it has no milk. So chocolate comes from cacao. And cacao is one of the superfoods. It has tons of minerals and it's amazing. It's raw.
Right.
What they do with cacao is they process it with milk, and that's what makes cocoa.
Yeah.
So you actually can make your own actual cacao pudding. You do cacao, and you can get it on Amazon, it's organic. Cacao pudding, you can put avocado, and you can add some kind of sweetener like coconut nectar, or if you want to do agave nectar, and you can actually make a raw chocolate pudding made with no milk, no sugar. It's quite amazing. But yeah, you can. And even Theo's has a bunch of vegan chocolates. You just have to look for it.
and you can get vegan ice cream. Ben and Jerry's makes vegan ice cream that's really good.
Yeah,
there's
actually,
tons of stuff.
Bryce just bought that yesterday, and
There's
she goes,
the-
"Hey, what do you think?"
There's tons.
And
It's
so-
just the same thing. Like if you don't change, if you keep your eating habits the same, I can see a huge difference. But I did keep my eating habits the same. I did see a huge difference.
Yeah.
Just not in my numbers where I wanted to be.
We
But
wanted
that
more.
but that was just because I wanted to see what was going to happen with just changing just the food.
So my husband, he went vegan 4.5 years ago, and he was into lifting weights and bodybuilding, and he noticed going vegan that he can lift more, his joints don't hurt, and he has more energy. And he now is in a place, wish we could all be in this place, where he burns so many calories every day that he literally has to try and have some kind of ice cream every night to combat the amount of calories.
So hard, such a hard life.
So
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Like he gets on the scale once in a
sucks.
while. He's not obsessed with the scale or anything like that. But he gets on and he's like, "Oh, I lost our 2 pounds." And I'm like, "Maybe it's because you work out 3 times a day." And I don't know. And we eat really clean. We're mostly a whole food plant-based diet. We don't do a lot of processed foods, which we don't want to change that. But he has to add in more fat into his diet. So let's
what
all
kind-
love him right now.
yeah.
what kind of fat does he add into his diet?
So he'll do nuts, and at nighttime he might have a cashew ice cream, cashew-based ice cream. He'll do almond butter. He'll make put chia seeds, and he'll make this breakfast thing he does. It's a bunch of fruit, this unsweetened, I think it's a cashew yogurt, and then he'll add the chia seeds, other things like flax seeds and stuff like that. So healthy stuff.
Yeah, all this stuff. There's a lot of people who aren't vegan.
Yeah.
are unfamiliar with a lot of stuff you've just talked about,
Yes.
like agave nectar and
Coconut nectar.
coconut
It's
nectar.
definitely a learning curve.
And that's where I come in. That's where people can come in and like I can help them with it. But you have to
Because
really want
we
it.
wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Don't stop. Tell me
Well,
more.
I-
Tell me more. I love
Your
it.
hair looks great.
Amazing,
That's
amazing.
And we talked earlier about jackfruit. Like jackfruit
Okay.
is not something that's available.
So it is.
It
So
is.
Soy curls.
jackfruit.
Soy
So
curls.
we're talking soy curls and jackfruit. So jackfruit is a natural fruit, obviously fruit, over in Asia, and they're huge. They're beautiful and huge. They're like green spiky things on the outside, kind of like a durian. And a durian is another fruit in Asia. It's called a stinky fruit. It's also a superfood. Smells awful, but it has like a custardy taste to it. Back to the jackfruit. The jackfruit, you had it recently, fresh.
I did.
Yeah.
And you like peel it, and the seeds are actually considered toxic, so don't eat the seeds. But you peel it and you eat it. It tastes amazing. Well, if you get young jackfruit, it doesn't have as much flavor, and you can actually turn it into things. So you can buy it. I get it on Amazon. I get organic. There's two different types that I get. One is a shredded one, and one is a pieces one. The shredded, I will make a jackfruit tuna. I'll put veganase, dill, pickles, tarragon, thyme, and I'll make a tuna fish like sandwich or salad. Other one you could do is a pulled pork, and we'll add barbecue sauce and we'll saute it. And I've never had pulled pork, but I've been told it's very similar to pulled pork. It's because it's a texture thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
And the young jackfruit doesn't have much flavor to it, so whatever you put on it, it will absorb, kind of like tofu. Now, soy curls. Oh my gosh, everybody.
Amazing.
I waited too long to have soy curls. Get them probably at like a health food store, but I usually get it on Amazon. They come in these packs of 3, and it's dried soy curls. And you're like, what do I do with this?
Yep,
It
that would
looks
be me.
so weird. You hydrate them. You put them in a bowl with water for maybe 10 minutes. That's it. Drain it. And then from there, you can keep them nice big pieces, or you can chop it up. And I've done it where I've added like Red Hot into like a Frank's Red Hot, or I've done it where I've done barbecue sauce, and they are incredible.
You can do taco seasoning.
Taco
anything.
seasoning.
Like
Oh
we use
my
it.
God.
We put them on tacos. It's everything. To me, it tastes like either chicken strips or like calamari.
Yeah, you said it tastes like calamari, or like the texture.
The texture, it's like-
so
it's
we
like-
have to
it's
figure
like
out
a-
a way to make it taste like calamari by adding like kelp or something that will make it actually
Yeah.
taste like it. I think that's a great idea.
It's
So-
good though. It's
So
and it's cheap.
Soy curls.
It's super cheap.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
really?
Yes, super cheap.
Oh, really?
Soy
Okay.
curls. Find it on
Yeah.
Amazon, and you hydrate them at home.
What if you can't have soy? Like if soy's a thing?
Like a sensitivity.
Yeah, sensitivity. People, I don't know,
Well, then I would go more towards the jackfruit.
jackfruit.
Yeah,
okay.
jackfruit has no soy in it. So yeah, you don't have to worry about. People sometimes get nervous about having too much soy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
that's-
everyone, oh my gosh, I love this question.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
so let's
great.
talk about
Let's talk
soy.
Okay, so I love this one. It makes me so happy hearing about this. So if you are consuming non-GMO soy, so fermented soy like tofu and tempeh, you are getting a high quality soy, and it's going to have something called phytoestrogen, which actually competes with other receptor sites for estrogen. It's not estrogen based; it's phytoestrogen. It competes. It actually decreases the risk of getting breast cancer. Now, what has estrogen? Guess what? Plastic water bottles leach tons of estrogen. Birth control. Hello, synthetic estrogen. So you're getting a lot of estrogen from things like that. So if you're consuming a whole food plant-based diet and having fermented soy, which is the tofu and tempeh, you're probably getting less soy than the average American. And you're actually you're cancer fighting. So this whole idea that soy gives boys boobies and soy is estrogen, it's a bunch of baloney. It really is.
that's what
It
I've
really
been
is. Now,
told
if
that-
you're doing a ton of, if you look at like the back label of any kind of processed foods, it's gonna have soy in there.
Soy, yeah.
But it's not. It's genetically modified soy. It's been altered, and it's probably pretty bad for you.
Yeah.
But if
partially
you're going
hydrogenated.
partially hydrogenated oil, that's not soy, but that's a chemical. That's one molecule next to plastic. And so the more you're eating foods like that, the more you're going to increase your risk of getting all these toxins in your body and having that estrogen that's going to be causing more cancer.
Okay.
So if you're doing the fermented soy, you're fine.
Fermented soy.
Fermented soy, which is tofu and tempeh. And then
Tempeh.
the soy curls you get there, they're non-GMO soy curls too. So you're fine.
Oh, really?
You don't have
Okay.
to worry about
Soy
it.
curls, we'll
this
try
whole
that.
idea that soy is going to give boys boobs is a bunch of baloney.
That's
where my-
It's the
Actually,
hormones.
never heard that. I thought it was like from
No, that
the
was-
hormones from milk.
The hormones from milk, you can get it. The hormones from the animals,
Chickens.
all of those. I mean, what is cow milk? What is
Oh
it
my God.
designed? What is it designed to do?
It's to
Tell your story you told me about cow milk.
So okay, so I'm gonna defend it just a little bit.
I love
only
this. Yes.
I'm not gonna defend it,
Oh,
but
okay.
I grew up on a farm and we did milk, and I'll tell you that milk that came fresh from the cow,
Okay.
amazing. So that is something that I've cut out of my diet, and my knees have thanked me for.
They will, because it's inflammatory.
It is inflammatory, and I didn't believe that for the longest time. I'm like, no, it's not. I grew up with it. I'm not lactose intolerant. I can drink a whole gallon of milk. Actually, my son and I can compete and drink a whole gallon of milk, and we think it didn't affect us.
But it did.
Until I stopped.
Until you stopped, yeah. It's kind of the person who is like the beer drinker who would drink a 12-pack and they'd be fine.
Right.
And then they stop, and then all of a sudden they drink one, and they're like tipsy. Well, were they fine before drinking the 12-pack? It's your body just goes to the state of like, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to give you more information. I'm done. So cow milk is designed for a baby cow, okay? So you're taking that milk away from that baby cow. And then how does that baby mama, or how does that mama get pregnant? Forcefully gets impregnated.
Inseminated, yeah,
Okay.
artificial, yeah.
Okay. And then the baby calf gets taken away from their mama.
Yeah.
And then the mama has to mourn for that baby, right? Mm-hmm. And have you ever heard about whatever we produce in our body goes through us and goes on to the next thing? So if they're producing all this hormones of sadness and it goes into the milk and then people are consuming it, not only getting all the hormones, but they're getting all the emotions too. So I call cow milk. Are we ready for this?
Uh-oh.
I know what you're gonna say.
I don't drink it, so I don't.
Rape pus.
Oh.
Ooh.
And but if you think about it, it really makes
I've
sense.
changed many
like,
people's lives. They're like, oh gosh, but you're totally right. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's totally right.
Yeah.
Now, if you're on a farm and you're milking a cow and it's more humane, okay. But are you telling me the stuff that you're getting from the grocery store is humane? No,
Oh, no.
it's not. I'm
Factory,
sorry,
yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
So I know that got really dark really quickly. My apologies.
way to bring the mood down the road.
Well, no.
Bring it back up.
But the thing is,
But knowledge is power.
when I learned that 70% of the people are lactose intolerant, the
I bet it's
population,
higher.
I realized, wow, we aren't supposed to have milk.
No.
And that kind of like, okay, good, easy for me. I didn't really love it anyway, so.
Perfect. So for you were doing because you thought you were supposed to.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that are going vegan if they're like, oh, I really crave X. And I'm like, eat it. And their eyes go wide. Really? I go, yes, absolutely. Because knowledge is power. You go and have milk, your knees are going to blow up, and you're going to be like,
Yeah.
that's going to be more information for you than me telling you not to do something. Joe actually had an incident on his week 2 where he went to Taco Time and ordered a bean burrito and tell him what happened.
Yeah, I ordered bean burritos and they came out beef, and I didn't realize it. So I drove away, took a bite, realized it was beef. I ate it anyway. I'm not gonna
Just one
spit
small
it
bite,
out.
yeah.
Just one bite. Stopped, gave the rest to a homeless guy, kept going. About 3 hours later, I got sick, and not like diarrhea or nothing, but my gas. It smelled so bad. Like my wife was gonna punch me in the face. She was like, "You stink. What the hell died in there? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's wrong with you? What'd you eat today?" I'm like, "Shit, I didn't think about anything, but I ate one bite of beef, and it was like just the fried beef, and that's that was day 8, I think, 8 or 10.
And so that knowledge, that's going to be with him because there's been times he's like, I have all these memories with food.
Sure.
And you think of that's the memory. You can then recreate a memory and you can then change it. So
Yeah.
that's really powerful when you can do it. So I always tell people, people say to me, oh, you can't have meat, you can't have dairy. And I go, I can have whatever I'd like. I don't want to. I feel better. I crave salads. Like I actually feel better when I eat that way. So I never feel deprived. Everyone thinks as vegans is we're just so deprived. Like,
Yeah.
oh, what do you eat?
Yeah,
You
that's what
must
someone
be so
said.
sad.
Someone said to me the other day, like, "Oh, are you starving all day?" Hell no, I eat more food. If I'm hungry, I eat more
Yeah.
celery,
We
more
don't-
carrots, or whatever. And I
don't
dip
feel
in peanut
deprived.
butter, and I have good food. It's not like I'm eating just bland crap all day. You know.
No, it's so good. So we're doing this because we want to and we feel better. And that's where you want to get to, where it's like, you don't want to go to that stuff because you're like, oh, that made me feel like crap. Or like if you drank before and you realize that it made these certain things, you don't want to drink anymore because you don't like that reaction you got. So same thing with food.
Well, exactly, and I'll relate a quick story that kind of changed me. I have psoriatic arthritis, and I was taking Humira. We stopped it, and it came back at full vengeance. And not only that, I hurt my ankle, and my arthritis really. I felt like I was a 70, 80-year-old guy, and when you feel that way, you realize, well, I've got to change. I have to change. And so I was able to, I did with the Juice Plus, the shred diet. And that was kind of starting me on the thing with staying away from alcohol, but other things like dairy and bread and all anti-inflammatory. You start really thinking, Yeah, I don't really want that. I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
Because you feel better when you're not
Yeah.
taking it.
Yeah.
You know, where someone like a kid has like this dairy or this sugary thing and they associate that as like something happy, but if they felt like crap, it's like they need to start thinking of that way. So when kids are younger, they don't get as many reactions. You know, they don't feel that because as we get older, we start to feel things.
Yeah.
And so it's important. Like his daughter is now realizing, oh gosh, when I have that macaroni and cheese, my belly hurts. And so she'll start to figure it all out. And knowledge is power, guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
so
Wow.
Yeah.
now we've given you knowledge. I apologize for my verbiage of what milk is, but you all can agree that
Yeah.
it's a very true, accurate statement of what
Yep.
that is.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much.
So-
for
You're
having
welcome.
us.
It's been a pleasure.
So this has been a pleasure. So, Joe, one more thing. How can people get a hold of you if they want kitchen or plumbing issues
So
or whatever?
Call our office at 253-218-1410, or our website is bowersplumbingllc.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, we do anything remodel related, plumbing and remodel now. So full house. You know, we specialize in kitchen and bath remodels, but really anything. So
It's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
And Michelle, how can people get in touch with you?
You can call Marconi Chiropractic Wellness at 253-750-3381 or check us on our website at www.marconicw.com.
Great. Well, thank you guys for all of this
did you
information.
practice that?
No? I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You did.
Just rolled right off
in the
her
mirror
tongue.
this morning on the way here.
For all things
Right.
plumbing, chiropractic, and vegan. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.